Hello everyone, and welcome to this video commentary for Infiltration, the Businessman Prologue. Little bit of backstory here. This was the first proper film we made without using like old footage. Like, this is the first film we shot after we essentially gave up for 6 years, and I wanted to come back in a big way, and this is like a short mini action film, but yet it's also a prequel to The Businessman, to essentially to set up that film.
And we did it in about 3 hours. Do you remember we went out and did the whole majority?
We shot it over 2 days.
Yeah,
but the majority of the first. Yeah, go on.
Well, that's all I have to say. It was remarkable. We just went out there and did it.
Yeah,
and got the whole thing done virtually, apart from the added bits and pieces.
Yeah, we shot over 2 days.
Mm.
We shot the first block over 2 days, 3 hours, and then we went back for the second day to do pickups. And then I think about a week later, we just did a couple more shots just to kind of fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
But aside from that, and we'll talk about it, I'm sure, when we get there, about the police situation.
Oh, right, yeah.
That was it. So let's get on with watching Infiltration. Okay. Here we go. I love the beginning of this because there's no even NickeRMel title card, because that's what I wanted to kind of do from like the future onwards of like short films.
Preview or anything.
Yeah, we got the 1 year after the West Sussex incidents. This establishes straight away we're a year after everything. So what you got to remember is this came after Shape of Things to Come, which was kind of our condensed version of essentially the happy ending of the Object Legacy. It doesn't give you everything about what happens in the Object Legacy, but it just gives you a rough, because an idea,
an insight.
Because we gave up for a long time, and we came back, and I wanted to show what we'd filmed, all the excess stuff, and then we came back and I thought, well, I might as well release these films, especially The Businessman, because that's essentially done. But I thought I didn't want to just release The Businessman, I wanted to make something to set it up, and that's where Infiltration came from. I thought, let's do this kind of mini action short.
And it is a sort of an introduction into it, isn't it?
Because now, I mean, in The Businessman, when we see Jack, he's young, he's inexperienced, he doesn't really know how, he's not even the hero of his own story, really. But
is this your first mission?
This is my first mission. This is the one
you on?
Yeah, this is the one you send me on.
After our conversation about... Yeah.
And there we go, there's a flashback to The Businessman, even though technically this releases before The Businessman. But I wanted to show Jack almost in his prime, when he is a warrior, because this was always the trajectory for this character. I knew I wanted to, almost a bit jarringly, make Jack a bit of a wimp to start off with, and then discover he has this potential after he meets Carl again. Something happens, which we'll get into in The Businessman video commentary, I'm sure. But I love this kind of gearing up scene. I think I shot this myself in my bedroom. And then we got... Because
I didn't see any of it until you completed it.
Because we shot this bit, then we went out and started shooting the beginning part. But I love this kind of like quick cuts to things. And then here we go, here's the phone call from you. Go for Harper. And this is your bit, and we established that you're here with Paul, with Seth, but we didn't actually have Paul at all for this film. This is actually a shot from the Object Legacy that I just reversed to make it slightly different, because we couldn't get Paul back, unfortunately. But and it wasn't just about getting Paul back as well. It'd been so long, and we didn't want to bring him back in just for like a scene or just a shot essentially. It just seemed easier to use archive footage to get this kind of establishing film. So now we've got Jack going into this infiltration mission.
This is his first infiltration mission, and he's in permanent contact with Mr. Myers, who's giving him instructions as he goes.
They could be anywhere.
These are my sparkly glasses.
It is, yeah. This is after we'd lost your main glasses, and in between finding your replacement, Mr. Myers glasses.
Infiltration mission.
There's the line.
Yeah, infiltration.
And this kind of like go between of the two of them, and I like the bond.
It starts to build up a relationship here.
I like the bond between Jack and Mr. Myers, because we'll get into it a little bit in later films, but Jack never had really a father figure to grow up with. Him and the boys always saw Mr. Myers as their father figure, because he kind of hung out with the kids as they were growing up, kind of looked after them. And out of the 5 boys, you're probably the one that kind of looks after them the most out of all the family, out the families of the group. And here we go. There's a suit, a vampire suit, but obviously played by a certain someone. And there's the first dusting. I love this effect, and it was just literally, I think it was your idea actually, just to use cigarette ash to just kind of throw in the air to make it look like a vampire dusting.
Disintegrating a vampire, yeah.
And that scene that we just went past was the one where we were called on by the police, and they came over saying, reporting people walking around weapons. I'm obviously wearing the same thing I'm wearing now, and they had a laugh about it, and literally they were playing with my water guns. They wanted to watch it. And there's another suit, again played by you, getting stabbed by the ceremonial blade that Jack finds that Carl has in the businessman. So we kept that continuity over, because I don't know if you've noticed, but Jack's warrior attire, at least his first one, is Carl's, because he's essentially taken over Carl's persona as a warrior, and it's almost wearing it.
Did the blood a bit.
Yeah, well, that's me. I love using fake blood. I'm obsessed with it. But that's his way of honouring Carl a little bit, is to do the job that Carl was doing, to wear his fatigues. And here we go, back to the blood. I love the blood. Just to focus on that blood. But yeah, this was really about setting up that first opening scene of the businessman, where we see Jack being interrogated. And I always knew I wanted to, after we got the camera, I wanted a distinctive scene to open that scene, and I thought, what happens if we did a jump forward where Jack's captured?
There we go.
So I wanted to, with this short film, set up how Jack gets into that position. And another thing, talking about the director's cut of Businessman, if we ever do it, I'll add this into it as well to kind of help it out.
It's almost planned you're being caught, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's an infiltration mission.
I think it's time.
I think it's time. And who did he look to? He looks to Fred, played by Mark, of course. Again, archive footage, because Mark wasn't available.
Well, he moved a long way away, didn't he?
And here we go, a few close-ups, and I love this flashback, because this scene that you're about to see is actually from one of the cancelled films, The Gathering, and we shot it. This was just before Mark was about to move away, so we decided to shoot as many scenes as possible for Mark. So I wasn't sure where I was going to place this film, this scene, and I thought, well, this would be a perfect time, because he's perfect place, as he's getting captured, he's thinking about one of his memories that really encourages him on. This is when Jack's he's down and he's in a slump. He's lost Carl and he's in a wheelchair. So he's trying to think of his happiest memories to keep him going. And then obviously we got the memory of Carl here. It's just before, probably one of the last times he sees Carl, actually, when just before he goes into the mission to go to, ironically, the same warehouse that Jack's just about to infiltrate.
Yeah, that's the word.
So Jack's here, and this is the famous shot that you love of me being overshadowed by the light. And here we go, to be continued. Because with this ending part,
Don't you have a bit of a preview after this?
Yeah, well, it's sort of a preview. Part. It's kind of, I'm showing clips as the credits are going to kind of really connect it into the next scene of me being interrogated for the businessman. I literally wanted people to watch this and go straight into the businessman. So I thought, well, the perfect way to do that is to literally link the scenes in. So now we're seeing Jack kind of battered and bruised, being dragged through the hallways of this abandoned warehouse that's being operated by these cult-like vampires that we've nicknamed the Suits, because obviously they dress in suits. And the leader of them is obviously Nathaniel, played by Robin, and this was like our first big introduction of Robin. And I love this shot of me underwater as well. That was great. Like, we did that with the GoPro with the cover on just underneath.
I haven't seen that recently. I haven't used it in a bit.
I've still got it. I think I just don't have a plug to charge it at the moment, but I do plan to use it again. I need to get a few more attachments for it, like a suction pump to stick it on cars again. But here we go, we're starting to set up, and there's obviously all the musicians. Dan, who did the fantastic score for Businessman, obviously Andrew, who did the main theme for Object and the Fear Inside soundtrack, and obviously Gene Wright, we don't mention him enough, but he did a few tracks for the Fear Inside as well. And obviously Matthias was somebody that did a score for the Fear Inside that I didn't discover for years later. So we decided to release another cut of that, and obviously I'm going to sample some of his music for Object Legacy.
Is this while I'm still playing?
Yes, because when we shot the beginning of Businessman, it was actually you as Nathaniel, because it was supposed
to be me. I was just you being a body double.
There wasn't even a Nathaniel at that point. It was just a random vampire interrogating you. When we got to Object Legacy and I'd started to create this secondary villain known as Nathaniel, I thought, well, let's set him up sooner. So I brought him into the beginning of the Businessman. We actually shot that about half a year after we wrapped the rest of the Businessman. The Businessman wrapped, and then 2015 we quickly grabbed Robin and shot a little bit of that beginning part again, just to tie him into those scenes and redo the audio for it, and I think it works perfectly. So that was Infiltration. I don't know how you felt about it, but I really enjoyed it.
I really like that, I love the way it moves into and overlaps with the next movie. So it gives you a boost, and it's in a sort of a more logical order, that one.
Yeah, I agree.
It's much easier to understand what's going on.
And I think for a first attempt of making a film after so long, like this, we shot this over, I think, August, and then we released it in about December. So not only was it our first film coming back after so long, but it was a quick turnaround and a release, and I think, sure, there's things I would change about it, like I'd add some visual effects to maybe some of the guns, just add a bit of muzzle flash to it, maybe if I could bring some cameos in, but as its own, I think it works really well to set up the Businessman, set up interest for it, and I think it works really well.
Me too.
So any final thoughts on the film?
I've been enjoying it so far, and I think this one is particularly good. I'm quite proud of this, because I came up with a lot of the ideas of this.
Yes,
one as well.
You did,
and
because we didn't really have a proper script per se for this. We just had an idea. I had the lines in my head, and we kind of just shot it.
And we went ahead as it went.
Yeah, because we knew the end point. We knew we had to get to the point where I'm getting in that chair.
We knew the course of the story. We didn't know exactly how it was going to work, or the words or anything.
Yeah.
So we felt it was more or less as ad lib as you can be with a film.
With a structured film.
Yeah.
And maybe ideally that's how we will do Comedy Show when we eventually get to it.
Well, yes.
Like, I already know how that opens, but that's a different conversation for a different franchise. So that is all, I believe, folks. Thank you very much for watching this video commentary for Infiltration, the Businessman Prologue, and I hope you enjoyed.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed too, and farewell. See you next time, and thank you for watching. See you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen and all that. Toodaloo. Bye-bye. Remember, Team Echo.
Now you want to get it right. No, I'm getting right.